Enjoying the podcast? Well, then you just might love the book. City of Nightmares. 500 haunts, killers, and cryptids from across the USA. Uncover America's darkest secrets, one nightmare at a time. From the restless spirits of haunted mansions to the chilling legends of cryptids lurking in the shadows, City of Nightmares is your ultimate guide to 500 spine-tingling locations across all 50 states. Whether you're a seasoned ghost hunter, a true crime aficionado, or simply a thrill seeker in search of your next adventure, this book has everything you need to dive into the eerie unknown. City of Nightmares, now available on Amazon in paperback, hardcover, and Kindle. Get your copy today.
Not everything that stirs in the dark has a name. But in the waters near Baltimore, a presence has been whispered about for decades. Some say it's just a legend. Others claim to have seen it with their own eyes. A long, serpent-like shadow beneath the waves of the Chesapeake Bay. They call it Chessie. And whether it's myth, mistake, or something far more unsettling, the sightings continue. I'm your host, Dan David. Welcome to City of Nightmares. Baltimore, Maryland, a city of contrasts, carved by the tides of history and the pulse of change. It's a place where cobblestone streets meet steel harbor cranes, where row houses overlook aging shipyards, and where jazz riffs echo from brick clubs just blocks from murals of Edgar Allan Poe. Known for its maritime roots, Baltimore was once the second largest port of entry for immigrants to the United States, after Ellis Island. Its identity is tightly bound to the Chesapeake Bay, economically, culturally, and spiritually. The inner harbor remains a symbol of resilience and rebirth, transforming from industrial decay into a tourist centerpiece filled with museums, aquariums, and restaurants. But it's also a working city, one defined by its neighborhoods, from Federal Hill and Fells Point to Sandtown and Cherry Hill, each with its own rhythm and struggle. This is a city that raised John Waters and even rap legend Tupac Shakur for a brief period of time. It built ships for the Navy and gave birth to Old Bay seasoning. Baltimore's history is proud, gritty, and deeply American. That history dates back to 1729, when the city was founded as a port to support tobacco trade with England. But by the late 1700s and early 1800s, Baltimore had become one of the most important seaports in the U.S., instrumental during the Revolutionary War and later in the War of 1812. It was here, during the bombardment of Fort McHenry, that Francis Scott Key witnessed the inspiration for the national anthem. Baltimore was a boomtown through much of the 19th and early 20th centuries, driven by steel production, shipbuilding, and the bustling B&O Railroad. But like many American industrial cities, it was not immune to the decay that came with deindustrialization, racial segregation, and urban disinvestment in the mid to late 1900s. Even so, it has endured and reinvented itself time and time again. But through all those eras, one constant has remained. The water, the Chesapeake Bay. And it's in those murky depths that something strange has been said to call home. Reports of an unidentified aquatic creature in the Chesapeake Bay date back nearly a century. While today it's often called Chessie, The first known account emerged in 1936, when two military helicopter pilots claimed they saw something serpent-like moving through the Bush River, just northeast of Baltimore. Whatever it was, they said it moved too deliberately to be floating debris and was unlike anything they'd ever encountered. After that, the sightings slowed until they came roaring back in the 1970s and 80s. The most famous of these took place in 1982, when Robert and Karen Frew, residents of Essex, captured grainy video footage of a long, undulating figure moving just beneath the water's surface. They described it as dark, smooth, and roughly 30 feet in length, moving with a snake-like rhythm. The footage attracted attention from local media, as well as the Smithsonian Institution. Experts reviewed the video and concluded that the object was unidentifiable, neither confirmed nor debunked. The mystery deepened. Around the same time, workers at the Calvert Cliffs nuclear power plant, situated further south along the bay, reported seeing a strange creature in the water near the plant's intake channels. Again, descriptions aligned: long, eel-like, dark in color, and disturbingly large. More sightings poured in throughout the 1980s. Crabbers, fishermen, boaters. In nearly every account, the description remained consistent. A dark, serpentine animal, 25 to 40 feet in length, sometimes seen in full, sometimes just as a series of humps rising and falling in the water. An article in the Washington Post from August 1982 quoted William J. LaPointe, a spokesman for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, as saying, "We have no reason to doubt these people saw something, whether it was a fish, a snake, or something else. Well, that's the real question. And it's a question that still lingers." One common explanation offered by skeptics is the Atlantic sturgeon, an ancient fish species native to the bay that can grow over 14 feet long and look truly prehistoric. Their armored, ridged backs and thick tails could certainly inspire a monster story under the right conditions. Others chalk the sightings up to large schools of fish, submerged logs, or simply misinterpreted wakes from passing boats. But some sightings don't line up so easily. In 1997, several watermen working near the mouth of the bay reported a creature that wasn't just large, it was behaving oddly. One crabber, speaking anonymously to a local paper, said, "It moved like it was watching, not feeding, just watching." Then, in 2014, a group of kayakers near Annapolis witnessed something they claimed was long like a ribbon, maybe 20 feet, just beneath the surface. It rose slightly, coiled, then sank again. One paddler said the disturbance in the water remained for nearly a full minute. No proof, no photographs, just testimony. And that perhaps is the most frustrating thing about Chessie. It never leaves evidence behind, only stories. Still, the creature has become something of a local icon. In the 1980s, a cartoon version of Chessie was used in children's environmental education materials, promoting clean water and wildlife preservation. The smiling, bright green character bore little resemblance to the more sinister creature described by eyewitnesses, but it gave the legend a name, and that name stuck. Today, sightings are fewer, but they haven't stopped entirely. Every couple of years, someone swears they saw something strange in the water. A fisherman, a sailor, a hiker watching from shore. The pattern repeats, the accounts blur, but the mystery endures. One of the more recent reports came in 2019 from a man fishing off Tolchester Beach. He described seeing a head, like a horse's, but smooth, with no mane, just slick skin. He said it rose, stared in his direction, and then sank. When asked why he didn't try to film it, he replied, "Honestly, I didn't think it would let me." That line sticks with you, as if Chessie is more than just a creature, as if it chooses when to be seen and when not to be. Could it be a surviving relic of a prehistoric age, an undiscovered species adapted to the brackish waters of the bay? Or is it nothing more than folklore shaped by imagination, shadows, and a splash of brine? Whatever the answer, one thing is certain. The Chesapeake Bay holds secrets, and Baltimore, with its centuries of stories, may be sitting right on top of one. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of City of Nightmares. Join us next time as we head north to Massachusetts and explore one of the darkest tunnels in America's rail history, where voices echo through the mountain and ghosts cling to the rock. Until then, I'm your host, Dan David, reminding you all to stay safe out there. I'll be seeing you in the next episode.
Nope.